KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Tell me, Brett, what was it that you said?
I said and got arrested for saying
Who were you speaking to when you said that?
Mariano Pargas.
A heated meeting in Uvalde spilling outside after the guardian of one of the Robb elementary victims was arrested.
Brett Cross was put in handcuffs after using that profanity while talking to one of the former law enforcement leaders who responded to the elementary school on May 24th, the day of the shooting. Lee Waldman spoke with Cross right after his release from jail.
Damn! And you have the ball and the gall to stand up here in front of everybody, all of us. I'm under arrest.
Chaos in the Uvalde County Commissioner's Court meeting as Brett Cross confronts Mariano Pargas.
This is the first time showing up in all of 2024.
The former Uvalde police lieutenant and current county commissioner repeatedly called out for his failure in responding to the shooting at Robb Elementary.
We got a phone call that there were 89 students still alive in that classroom. You walk the away. You don't speak. Watch your mouth.
Cross was led outside, arrested for disrupting a meeting.
But this is what happens when you speak up for your own child. That's no longer here.
A few hours later, Cross is out of the Uvalde County Jail.
I'd do it all over again.
We spoke to Uvalde County Judge William Mitchell, who asked for Cross to be removed from the meeting. He says Cross will always be allowed to speak at those meetings, but not if he uses profanity. Cross says Mitchell should expect more comments like his today directed towards Pargas.
Kids, remember, you can get murdered and nobody will care, but as soon as you say the word people lose their mind.
Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
The 3 former San Antonio police officers who allegedly shot and killed a woman having an apparent mental health crisis appeared in court today. Former Sergeant Alfred Flores and Officer Eleazar Alejandro are charged with the murder of Melissa Perez. Former Officer Nathaniel Villalobos is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in the case. Today, the prosecution told the judge that the defense has all of the evidence from that shooting last June. That includes body camera video from the 54 sources the night of the shooting. The next hearing in this case is scheduled for April.
After more than 5 hours of jury deliberations, a man accused of stabbing and killing his own brother has been found not guilty. Angel Gonzalez, accused in the murder of his own brother, Isaac Aguilar, in October of 2022 at a birthday party. The two apparently got into an argument after Gonzalez allegedly made a derogatory comment about their niece. During closing today, the defense argued it was a case of self-defense.
San Antonio police are looking for the shooter who killed a man today on the near northwest side. Earlier this afternoon, police responded to the Aspire Apartments on Bandera Road near the intersection with Broadview. They found a man shot in the chest at the edge of the parking lot there. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say the suspect took off in a black car. We talked with a neighbor who heard the shots.
A girl came from over that way, and she looked like she was going to collapse, and some guy took her, and they took off in the vehicle. Then another guy came running up to that apartment and then went running back out and into the parking lot. And then the maintenance worker told me there was a guy dead on the sidewalk.
It is at least the second shooting there within a week. An 18-year-old woman was rushed to a hospital last Wednesday after she was found shot multiple times in one of the apartments.
He set himself ablaze. Tonight, D.C. Metro Police investigating after a U.S. Air Force member serving in San Antonio set himself on fire outside the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. Investigators say 25-year-old Aaron Bushnell protesting the Israeli response to the Hamas attacks last October. Investigators also say Bushnell live streamed the entire thing. In the video, he could be heard yelling, "Free Palestine," and he would, quote, "no longer be complicit in genocide," end quote. Bushnell had been in the Air Force for nearly 4 years, was serving at Lackland as a software specialist. He was originally from Massachusetts.
President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are planning on making trips to the border on the same day. On Thursday, President Biden will travel to Brownsville, and former President Donald Trump is planning on speaking in Eagle Pass. The trip comes as President Biden considers executive action to restrict asylum access for migrants at the U.S. southern border if they cross illegally. A 73-year-old Brandeis instructional assistant was laid to rest today. Alfred Jimenez, better known as Mr. Fred, died this month after falling and injuring his head at a special education classroom. John Paul Barajas was at the funeral service and has the latest on the investigation into Mr. Fred's death.
Services for Mr. Fred started at 11 this morning, and it was a large showing of support from both friends and family. Mr. Fred's wife, Marico Jimenez, allowed us to be here, but due to the emotional day, she wasn't ready to go on camera, but she did send us this statement that reads, "Today will be a really tough day for me as we lay my Freddie to rest. My husband died at work doing what he loved to do. He took pride in his kids and treated them with respect and kindness. A beautiful soul was taken from me. My life will never, ever be the same. I will forever miss my Freddie. This is so sad," end quote. She also told us that her husband was her rock. He took care of her during her battle with cancer, and when she lost her son in a car crash in 2019, she says she doesn't know how she'll be able to make it through these difficult times without him. Today's funeral comes at a time where the Bexar County Medical Examiner has ruled the death a homicide, and the union that represents NISD teachers and staff is calling for additional safety measures to be implemented at the state level. NISD says Mr. Fred fell and hit his head while trying to redirect a student in a class of students with severe learning and emotional disabilities. NISD police and SAPD are investigating. Now, the two things that Ms. Jimenez wants to make clear is that, one, she disputes NISD's claims that her husband fell and that she believes he was pushed, and two, that he did not work out of necessity, but because he cared and he wanted to. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
To Schertz now, where some people there breathing a bit easier now in more ways than one. They're relieved that a potentially dangerous gas leak that erupted in that neighborhood has been capped. It also filled the air with an unpleasant odor. That's how they knew there was a leak, as Katrina Weber reports a driver being blamed for the trouble.
The flashing lights were a visual sign that something was wrong in the Schertz neighborhood. There also was a smell, the strong odor of gas. For some, though, it was the sound of a ringing phone that confirmed it.
It just showed there was a gas leak block, and they would just to stay. It wasn't just to stay inside.
Joseph Gomez started getting robocalls, reverse calls from 911 before 5 this morning, warning him of trouble near his home on Randolph Avenue near Brooks Avenue.
And they called about 2 or 3 times, and then about after 5 or so, they cleared it off.
But before the all clear, there was all hands on deck for workers with CenterPoint Energy. They were called in to cap what turned out to be leaks from several different gas meters. They say a driver tried to squeeze his car through an unofficial alley between homes and hit 4 meters in the process. You can see a very clear picture of where things went wrong in this alley. The tread mark showing the path that the car took, clear over that gas meter.
I didn't smell anything.
Inside his home with the windows closed, Gomez was shielded from the odor of gas. However, outdoors, it signaled the potential for danger. CenterPoint crews worked quickly to cap the leak, then waited until daylight to make repairs. They say they saw Schertz police arrest the driver who caused all the trouble. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Look outside with live cam this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine, very warm day out there, but this is a week to make sure you keep tabs on the forecast.
Yeah, it's going to change by the day, up and down.
I say this from experience with family and friends. Some folks think, okay, well, it's like this today. It's just going to be like this the rest of the week, or tomorrow, everything's going to be the same. No, not this week. Some big changes coming. Thursday is going to be the day you want to have a jacket ready for the entire day. Big swings ahead. 55 in the morning, 82 was our afternoon high. That's 12 degrees above average. Check out Del Rio, 96 for the high. That's a record for the day today. Carrizo Springs, 95, Cotulla, 96, Laredo, as warm as 98 this afternoon. So feeling like spring with the drier air west of I-35, and they didn't have the morning fog, so temperatures really spiked along the Rio Grande. Bit humid out there. Southeasterly wind 5 to 10 off the Gulf of Mexico. That humidity, that breeze off the Gulf, it's going to help develop some fog after midnight tonight, so anticipated for the morning commute tomorrow. We'll start the day with some reduced visibility. Cold front arrives Wednesday. We'll talk about the cold front arriving, what it means for winds, temperature, and rain in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Let's go right now to traffic, and this is I-10 at Brazos. The exit is closed here, so it looks like they're doing some repairs. You can see this is pretty close to where the upper and lower deck come together, but that exit closed, doing a little repair work right there.
Happening later this week, Doc Talk. We take your medical questions to local doctors to get you some answers. Scan this QR code to send in questions for the doctors. Doc Talk airs every Thursday right here on the news at 6.
And coming up in our next half hour, we're going to talk about power problems. Congressman Greg Casar will join us for our KSAT Q&A. We're going to be discussing a new bill that Casar plans to file to get Texas connected to the rest of the country's power grid following the deadly 2021 winter storm. Is that even feasible? You can watch our live interview with the representative tonight at 6:30.
Yeah, a lot of questions about that possibility. Still ahead right here on the news at 6, why a Houston man says that drinking ice cold water while working out led him to have heart failure.
Plus, UT Health San Antonio getting a multi-million-dollar donation today. That what the money will go to and why it's an investment in the future of San Antonio's public health.
It's been almost 2.5 years since all of South Central Texas was last considered drought-free, and that Texas drought has contributed to an extremely tight hay supply for farmers and ranchers. Now, as you would probably expect, a lack of rainfall contributes to a lack of growing grass and in turn, a lack of growing hay. And believe it or not, this can have an impact on all of us. I recently talked to Dr. David Anderson, who's an economist with the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. He said that these high hay prices have forced ranchers to lower their herd numbers to help keep costs down. This can ultimately contribute to the higher beef prices that we see at the grocery store. Now, what about all of the healthier rains that we saw fall back in January? Well, Anderson says that did help soil moisture a bit, which can provide a good foundation for summer grasses to grow if we see more of it into the spring. We still have a ways to go. For more on our conversation and current drought conditions, you can visit our Whatever the Weather page up on KSAT.com. As far as if there are any rain chances in the forecast, stick around. Meteorologist Adam Caskey will have those details coming up.
Narcissist. It is the latest buzzword to describe people who are self-centered, but a local therapist who works with victims of narcissistic abuse says we should think twice before we use that label on somebody.
Having top-notch medical care here in San Antonio, something we can all benefit from. Well, today UT Health said they took a step to keep that going. IBC Bank donated $2 million to UT Health to help recruit leaders in medicine from across the country. The acting president of UT Health says this donation is an investment in the future of San Antonio's healthcare.
We're key to the further growth of San Antonio. This gift will help us recruit more faculty to train that next generation of providers for San Antonio's healthcare needs.
UT Health says the $2 million will be divided equally between 4 programs.
A Houston man sharing an unusual and frightening story. The medical diagnosis it ultimately led to. Franklin Arabina says he was working out one day and took a drink of ice cold water. Arabina says then he almost died due to heart failure. He had already been to the hospital more than 20 times in 15 years for chest pain. He never knew the reason until that last major episode. He connected the dots, explained the triggers to the doctors. They decided the cold water was triggering a condition called atrial fibrillation, or AFib. That's when the heart beats out of rhythm.
I take a gulp of cold water. As I'm settling back down, I feel the double thud. You feel something, don't be afraid to tell your parents. Don't be afraid to tell your physician the next time that you go in for an appointment.
Absolutely. Tell somebody. Arabina had heart surgery, hasn't been to the hospital since. He says he still needs to take some medication, though.
I know
cold water.
Yeah, I know he had a lot of
AFib.
history with that, but cold water during a workout. I mean, how many of us do that? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Let's talk forecast now. So many things to keep track of. What we're going to wear
on a daily
every day.
basis, an hourly basis
day
almost.
to day. Yeah.
It's the middle of the week. Wednesday and Thursday is when the changes really come. Let's get right to our high temperature bar graph. Notice the big swings. Mid-80s again tomorrow. So feeling spring-like tomorrow. Wednesday, the cold front hits. We'll be in the 60s most of the day and windy. Then Thursday. Thursday's the day that stands out that you really have to plan around because it's going to be the coldest day. 52 will be the warmest temperature. So most of Thursday will be spent in the 40s to right around 50 degrees. We do rebound quickly if you like this taste of spring. We're back into the 70s Friday, right near 80 degrees this upcoming weekend. You look at the temperatures now and the cold front is just crossing over the Canadian border, really, off to the north. But we've got 80s and now some 70s across Texas, some 90s earlier today. We talked about that 96 in Del Rio, the record high. Cold front right now moving through Montana. Well, it's through Montana into Wyoming, into North Dakota. It's pushing southward. Again, it doesn't get here until Wednesday. You look at the temperatures behind it, and it's going to pack a bit of a punch. Saskatchewan right now at 4 below. Parts of Montana at just single digits. Around here, we're going to start the day tomorrow in the 60s, low to mid 60s in the morning, so mild. And then by the afternoon, we make it well into the 80s. Now, I do want to point out we'll have the morning fog. Visibilities will be reduced to under a mile or maybe even under a half a mile at times to start the day for the morning commute. But then by the afternoon, we're into sunshine in mid 80s and still that bit of humidity in the air that you feel. High temperatures tomorrow along the Rio Grande in the lower 90s. Locally will be well into the 80s, mid to upper 80s for highs. So well above average for this time of year. The average high is 70 degrees. Notice our rain chances. Wednesday, a measly 10% chance with the front, but by Thursday, it's up to 20%. There's a little bit of hope. I do anticipate some dampness on Thursday, but not much to really show for it. Then we get into Sunday and Monday, and a few afternoon thunderstorms could develop. But let's talk about the system that's headed our way. Big Blue H we've been talking about over Mexico. The high been influencing our weather, gave us a beautiful weekend. This dip in the upper level flow here, this little swirl, counterclockwise swirl, west of Los Angeles, that's headed eastward. So the cold front moves through on Wednesday, then right on its heels, this upper disturbance provides some rain-making energy to Texas. For us, it's more like sprinkle-making energy. I wish it was real rain-making energy. Just a little bit of sprinkle action and some drizzle as well. You look at the rainfall and precipitation potential over the next 7 days. A good chunk of the lower 48 getting some rain. Around here, it's going to probably be a few hundredths of an inch, and that's about it for Thursday and into Thursday night. I think just dampness and drizzle for Thursday afternoon and evening. 79 right now. Dew point is 65. That's the key. We have that humidity in the air with the wind coming off the Gulf of Mexico. So we feel the mugginess. The dry line paid us a visit earlier today. Dew points were much lower west of I-35, but now dry line's retreating. That wind off the Gulf of Mexico is taking over, as it often does in the afternoon, and that humidity is spreading across our area. But because of the Wednesday cold front, it's not going to last. Humidity plummets Wednesday morning. We're dry then all the way through Friday and into Saturday with a lack of humidity in the air before it starts returning again for the second part of the upcoming weekend. And once that humidity's back, we could have a few thunderstorms pop up. Isolated in nature, 20% chance both Sunday and Monday. We talked about the afternoon temperature drop. I also want to point out Thursday and Friday, the mornings will be down in the 40s. And Wednesday, winds gusting up to 40 miles per hour at times with that cold front. So we're really going to feel it. 42 days away from the total solar eclipse. The longest totality will be in Nazas, Mexico, lasting 4 minutes and 28 seconds.
Okay, countdown is on. Thanks, Adam.
All right, Rudy Gobert's a great shot blocker.
Yes.
But is Victor Wembanyama the best shot blocker in the league?
Well, I'm going to say right now he absolutely is. And what's crazy is a player will beat him, right? And the guy thinks he's got an open layup, and all of a sudden here comes Wemby's long arm out of nowhere to deny the shot. It is incredible. He is a shot blocking machine. And in girls high school basketball, Bernie is getting ready to face one of the best programs in the state coming up.
But at the end of the day, they're a faceless opponent. They could be LeBron James. And at the end of the day, we still got to show up and we still got to play our game.
Abby Smith and the Bernie Greyhounds are worrying about themselves as they prepare to face Canyon in the Class 4A state semis in big board sports. Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama continues to shine every single time he steps on the court. Last night in the Spurs 128-109 loss at the Jazz, he had 22 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks, 2 steals, and 2 assists, and 1 steal. That's his third straight double-double and 7th in 10 games this month. And while he's doing all that, he's not getting in foul trouble. So what's that part of the game been like for Wemby?
Very enjoyable, first of all. Going against the best in the world. And let's say it's a lot of instincts, and it's a lot of trusting my instincts. So this is an area where I would always trust my talent.
Wemby had 5 more blocks last night, his 3rd straight game with that many, pushing his total to a league best 171. That's 20 more than Chet Holmgren and Brook Lopez, who both have 151. And for the month of February, Victor has 38 blocks by himself, which is more than any other NBA team combined. The Pistons are next with 37 blocks as a team. Wemby is a shot blocking machine. We caught up with the Bernie girls basketball team this morning ahead of their UIL Class 4A state semifinal contest with the Canyon Lady Eagles this Friday. Canyon beat #1 ranked Glen Rose to punch their ticket to state. Canyon is one of the best girls programs in the state with 29 tournament appearances, the second most by any Texas school, and they've won state 20 times, also the second most in UIL Texas girls basketball history. Now this year marks Bernie's 5th trip to state and their 3rd time in the last 4 seasons. And yeah, while they respect Canyon, Bernie is focused on their game and not the opponent.
We've been talking all year about just, playing basketball and being us and not really worrying about who we're playing because it doesn't really matter. We have to play a faceless opponent every time that we step on the court. So that's really going to be our focus this week, just getting ready to play.
I remember watching them my freshman year at the state tournament when we made the state tournament as well. I'm excited. I love competition. I'm just really excited to play another great team. But at the end of the day, they're a faceless opponent. They could be LeBron James. And at the end of the day, we still got to show up and we still got to play our game.
Bernie and Canyon will face off Friday at 3 p.m. at the Alamo Dome in the Class 4A state semifinals.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
The 2024 Super Bowl golf qualifier held a press conference at the Whataburger Innovation Center this morning. Truist and Whataburger are joining the event, which aims to raise awareness and support for various charitable organizations. And the NFL alumni involved, well, they love giving back.
Being able to get back into the community and give anywhere you can, and part of this golf tournament along, with MAC and a couple of other charities, just being able to do your part, I think is an important part of this.
The Super Bowl of golf qualifiers May the 6th at TPC San Antonio.
I love seeing those NFL legends come back and play golf and help out with
charities. And I know you're a big fan of Henry Eller.
I am. Number 80. Yep. Go Rams.
Thanks, Larry. Coming up next, should Texas join the national power grid? We're going to talk to a congressman who wants that to happen in our KSAT Q&A next. Should Texas join the national power grid? That question has been out there since that disastrous February 2021 winter freeze. And a U.S. congressman from Texas has filed legislation to try to make it happen. We're joined now by Representative Greg Casar. He represents parts of San Antonio up into Austin. Thanks for being here. We sure appreciate it. We want to start with why. Why file this? Why do you think this needs to happen?
It's been 3 years since Winter Storm Uri. And people are still traumatized by what happened. It's not something we've forgotten about. People all over Bexar County and San Antonio keep bringing up to me in the heat of the summer or the cold of the winter, as things get worse and worse with the climate crisis, are the lights going to stay back on? And what we know is that during that winter storm, if you were on ERCOT, Texas's independent power grid, there were 10 million people that lost power. Hundreds of Texans lost their lives. But in places like El Paso in the west of Texas, and Beaumont in the east, they are interconnected to the national grids, and they didn't have those mass outages. So Texans have been asking themselves why. And so I've filed the first ever bill in the U.S. Congress to finally tackle that issue and say, let's interconnect Texas, prevent blackouts, save customers money, and tackle the climate crisis.
And you filed this actually on the anniversary, the 3rd anniversary of the winter storm that knocked out power to San Antonio and so many other places. Do you feel optimistic that this is going to get passed? Do you have colleagues that are willing to work with you on this whole thing?
Absolutely. We have, just on the first day of filing the bill, the majority of the Texas Democratic delegation on the bill, folks like Congressman Castro here from San Antonio, and then people, members of Congress from surrounding states, because it just makes sense that in the energy capital of America, we should be able to pull in power when we need it badly, but also really importantly, push out power when our neighbors need it badly. And it's an opportunity when the sun is shining and the wind is blowing, which happens a lot in Texas, for us to sell surplus power to those neighboring states. It's about us getting help when we need it and us helping our neighbors when they need it. That's what we believe as Texans, and that's the point of being part of the United States of America. So it makes sense for us to interconnect.
So decades ago, Texas legislators decided to go their own way to avoid federal regulation, to be on their own power grid. So is that regulation something that would come into play here? And I'm sure a lot of people that are home are thinking, okay, if the lights stay on, what's the cost of this going to be for me? Power's already very expensive. So connecting Texas, would that end up costing us any more?
Let's absolutely talk about the question of cost and the question of regulation and rules. Study after study, independent studies, the Department of Energy studies, University of Texas studies show that it's costing us billions of dollars to stay an island, to not stay interconnected. Our economy took an enormous hit during Winter Storm Uri, and many studies show that it will cost us about $20 billion over the next dozen years if we don't interconnect. Everybody at home in San Antonio is probably paying a higher electric bill right now, still paying off what Winter Storm Uri cost us. The only folks that benefit economically from this not interconnected grid are a privileged few big corporations that profited handsomely, made enormous sums of money during the winter storm because there was a scarcity of energy and they could jack up prices as much as they want. What we need is competition, the ability to pull in energy from other parts of the country so that we don't, as consumers, get the short end of the stick and a high bill, but we actually have real options. And so this will save us money. And the federal regulations that you mentioned that would kick in by having us be interconnected is called the Regulation for Fair and Reasonable Pricing. We would get federal consumer protections to make sure people don't get screwed by high electric bills. So ultimately, this will be an economic benefit for the vast, overwhelming majority of Texans. The only folks standing in the way are probably those people that really made a huge sum of money off of people's misery and things like the winter storm.
Congressman Kassar, I have read studies as well, and you and I were joking before we came on the air that you've kind of become, really all Texans have kind of become like pseudo power experts in how the grid works and why it works the way it was and did in February of 2021. But is it feasible for Texas to hook up to the national grid? Because there are different, I mean, we're talking about a vastly different system when you're talking about the national grid than what we have in the state of Texas. And there are some that are saying Texas would have to spend a lot of money just to upgrade its systems to what the national grid uses right now.
This would be a huge construction project. We would need to build big wires interconnecting our states so that we could have dozens of gigawatts of transmission between us and the rest of the United States. But in this moment, we know we need to upgrade our nation's infrastructure. That means upgrading our public transportation. That means upgrading our bridges and our airports. And we should be upgrading our electric system as well. That means investing in Texas's grid to make it tougher and interconnecting. That will create lots of good jobs for people in our community, things like electricians and electrical work. That is hard work, but think about the cost of not doing it. The cost of not doing it means more blackouts, more economic disruption, and still higher power costs because those electric corporations will be able to jack up rates when it gets really hot in the summer and really cold in the winter. And we know with climate change that the summers are only getting hotter and the winters are only getting colder. I, as a native Texan, and so many other people at home know you haven't seen summers like these or winters like these in years before, and it'll only get worse.
You talked about having the Texas Democratic delegation on board in the House of Representatives, but that's a body that's controlled by Republicans. I mean, do you honestly think that this can get out of Congress or get out of the House and go to the Senate?
I feel very committed, and I feel very confident that this will become the law of the land, and here's why. It is good economics. A big part of the reason that I filed the bill is because we want to save lives. I was standing out there in the winter storm, carrying blankets, working with public transit agencies to pull seniors out of their freezing home into high school gyms. I want to save lives, but also for those folks that just care about dollars and cents, just care about the economy in Texas, this would be a huge boon for our economy and the economy of neighboring states. And so while we filed this bill as a Democratic bill to start, I expect that we will get bipartisan support because those rural Texas lawmakers and those folks that represent rural areas nearby Texas, would see huge economic benefits from new wind and solar and geothermal popping up in their parts of the state, because now they'll have the opportunity not just to serve Texas consumers, but to be able to sell their surplus to nearby states. So this will be an economic win for rural Texas. It will be a win on costs for everyday consumers. And then most importantly, it'll prevent blackouts.
This is a big bill to watch. We'll certainly keep tabs on it. Congressman Kassar, thanks for being here.
Thanks so much. And it's really an honor to serve San Antonio in this way.
Take care. We'll be right back. It can be a tough decision when the washing machine breaks down. What do you do?
Buying a new one can get pretty expensive, but then again, repairs aren't exactly cheap. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz on what to consider before you fix or replace.
This 14-year-old washing machine is on the fritz.
I was afraid that if I spent the money to repair it, it would just go out again soon. And frankly, I'm surprised it lasted this long.
So instead of trying to fix it, the Prieto family headed out to buy a new one.
What you should really consider if you're replacing an appliance that's broken is how severe the repair is and what it might cost to fix, how old the appliance is, and how much you paid for it in the first place.
With washers, you should also factor in use.
If you live in a family with a lot of children at home, if you're doing a ton of laundry, multiple loads a day, in some cases, even if the washer is only a few years old, it might make more sense to replace it because it's just had that much wear and tear on it.
We have a toddler. We do at least one load of laundry a day.
But say you paid $1,000 for your washer 3 years ago and only do a few loads a week. A repair might be the better financial choice.
Before you go calling a service person for your washing machine, it makes sense to look at what's actually going wrong. Start with a simple online search. Look to see if there are any recalls on the washer or if there are any simple fixes like a clogged filter or a kinked outlet hose. Lastly, you want to check the intricacies of your warranty to see if it's something that might have extended coverage that you can get repaired for free before you place a call to a service person.
To help you decide what to do, Consumer Reports has an interactive tool. Just plug in your information and they calculate things like cost and depreciation and make a recommendation. We have a link on our website. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
Take a live look outside. It was a very nice day. A little on the humid side.
But just wait.
Yeah, the temperature swings are here. The roller coaster ride has begun, that's for sure. And we're on the top part of the roller coaster today, tomorrow, and then we drop down later this week. 79 right now. By midnight, we'll be at 66, and tomorrow morning we start the day at 65. We'll talk about the cold front when it arrives, even an update on lake levels and our drought monitor in just a bit.
3 former San Antonio police officers accused in the death of a woman having a mental health crisis appeared in court today. Today, the state told the judge that all of the evidence in this case has been handed over to the defense. That includes video from more than 50 sources. The next hearing is scheduled for April.
The San Antonio police are looking for the person who shot and killed someone at a Northwest Side apartment complex. The shooting happened this afternoon on Bandera Road near Broadview. Witnesses told police after the shooting, the suspects drove away in a black vehicle. No description was released.
President Biden and former President Donald Trump are planning on making trips to the border on the same day this week. Biden is scheduled to travel to Brownsville, and Trump is set to speak in Eagle Pass on Thursday. The trip comes as Biden considers executive action to restrict asylum access for migrants at the southern border if they cross illegally. And that's your 60-second recap.
Let's turn back to the weather situation and up and down. I hope you didn't put away the jackets just yet.
Yeah.
No, we're going to need them, especially later on this week. We'll get into that in a moment. But another thing we need is rainfall. Take a look at our reservoir levels, the area lakes, and they're low. They're still very low. Canyon, 60% full. That's 21 feet below the conservation pool. Medina still really struggling at 3.1% full, and that's 90 feet below the conservation pool. Let's talk about Canyon in particular. That's made the most headlines lately. 6 months ago, it was about 68%. 1 year ago, it was at 77% full, but still far from being at capacity and at the conservation pool. We need rain, and really we need it the most right here in our neck of the woods, especially as you get into the Texas Hill Country. Fredericksburg to Kerrville, all the way down to Bandera, and of course, Medina Lake included there. That's where we need the rain the most, and unfortunately, as we go forward here, over the next 7 to 10 days, we're not looking at a whole lot of rain. 20% chance on Thursday. By Sunday and Monday, another small 20% chance of rain. So here's the big picture. Here's the deal. Here's what we're looking at. Some high clouds streaming overhead right now. Off to the west, that's where we have a dip in the upper level flow. That's near Washington State. Another one west of Southern California. These two will be helping us out. The first one's going to give us the cold front. Then the next one brings in some rain-making energy by Thursday. So Wednesday, cold front. By Thursday, we get that energy moving overhead. It's really going to supply a lot of cloud cover and a few sprinkles. Sprinkle making energy and a little bit of drizzle. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of good rain from that. Just clouds and cooler temperatures. Now, speaking of cooler temperatures, look at this drop. 86 tomorrow. Wednesday, we're at 65. By Thursday, you need a jacket all day. 52. That'll be the warmest we get all day on Thursday. But notice how we quickly rebound. By Friday, back in the 70s, and by Saturday, we're at 80 degrees. So spring-like for now, winter-like later this week, and then spring-like again. Up and down, up and down, up and down. That's the roller coaster ride. Today, temperature-wise, 90s for a good portion of the state. Check out Del Rio, 96 the high temperature. That was actually a record for this day. Now notice how the temperatures were a little bit lower just east of town. That's where we had higher humidity and the morning fog and clouds really lingered around, in turn inhibiting them from warming up. Along the Rio Grande, we had the dry air, the lack of humidity, and total sunshine that warms up so much more efficiently. Now here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast for tomorrow. To start the day, we have the fog again. Visibility is under a mile at times. 65 for the morning low temperature. Then we burn off the fog and we get back into the 80s. Sunshine, 86 for the high temperature tomorrow afternoon. That's here in San Antonio. Go off to the west, Del Rio, Eagle Pass, Quemado, down to Laredo, well into the 90s for afternoon highs. Laredo could be as warm as 97 tomorrow. This is February, 97 degrees. Uvalde even 90, but you get closer to town, Leon Springs 85, Elmendorf 87, Converse, Stone Oak about 85 for the afternoon high temperature. Also windy on Wednesday. That cold front's going to kick up the wind, gusts up to 40 miles per hour at times. Sprinkles and then some drizzle on Thursday. Dampness, but not much to show for it. And notice those mornings back down into the 40s. And by Sunday and Monday, with the return of some spring-like conditions, a few pop-up thunderstorms are actually possible.
Okay.
A little bit of a change there.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Adam.
All right, a job fit for a Swiftie. It's in the buzz next.
For real. In the buzz today, a museum in London is looking to hire a Taylor Swift superfan. There's a few of them out there, right? The Victoria and Albert Museum wants someone to advise their curators to explain her importance in the history of art and design. The successful job seeker here will have the chance to view relevant items from the museum's collection and potentially help influence its future programming.
Yeah, the superfan should be able to offer insights into the culture and artisanry around the friendship bracelets that Swifties often exchange, as well as the handmade signs frequently displayed at concerts. Administrators say they'll cover reasonable travel costs and a museum membership.
I see more and more of these where there's classes about Taylor Swift, experts needed.
Yeah, I know. Surprised you haven't signed up for one.
I know, right?
All right, how long does it take to solve a Rubik's Cube? If you're an 11-year-old named Taryn Nelson from Jennings, Missouri, less than 2 minutes.
Ooh.
This fifth grader, known at his elementary school as the Rubik's Cube Kid.
That's because he can get all 6 sides of the cube to display a single color in as fast as 43 seconds. The classic 3D puzzle, it stumped countless adults for decades. But Taryn says you just need to know the algorithms.
Yeah, it's a genius cubed. Be right back.
Tomorrow, another spring-like day. Wednesday, most of the day we're in the 60s, mostly cloudy and windy. Winds gusting up to 40 miles per hour on Wednesday. So that's one thing to plan for middle of the week. Thursday, cloudy and just chilly all day long. We'll only be in the low 50s for a high.
All right, thanks, Adam, and thank you for watching the News at 6.
See you on the Night Beat at 10.